Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dr. Cammy and Karen Go Keto, where Dr. Cammy and I are on a journey, on a transition from the standard American diet to a ketogenic lifestyle slash carnivore lifestyle. And we are not in the early stages, but not in the late stages, obviously, because we hope we have decades more to go on this lifestyle. But we started this around August of 2023. So today, Cami thought it would be good if we talk about habits.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my journey right now on my 90-day commitment to do carnivore. I'm keeping a little book of every day I'm just writing a little page of what's going on in my day and what my food diary was and trying to make it a food plan where I'm planning what I eat. And I'm very lazy with that. I'm not in the habit of that yet. But the habit I did want to talk about was eating carnivore food. And on yesterday, when I was writing my journal for the day, well, actually, it was yesterday morning. I'll tell you when it exactly happened. I was eating breakfast and I had steak and eggs with bacon on it in a bowl. The steak was cut up in little pieces, and I had bacon there and eggs and no cheese. And it was in like a pool of butter because I had put a big slab of butter on it when I heated it up. And so I'm eating it and it tasted very good and I was enjoying it. And I thought, oh, this is the way that I eat now. This is what it's going to taste like. This is what it's about. This is what I am doing now. And I enjoyed it. And it was the most wonderful feeling because I thought, oh, and then I thought about eating carbohydrate, ultra processed foods that I do on my binges. And I said, that's the way it used to be. That's what was in my mind. And so I was very pleased about that. And this is on day number 26. So I was talking to Karen. I think they say 28 days to have a new habit or 21 days. I can't remember what they say. But I'm right here at day 26, which is right around that time that you start getting used to being in a new habit and doing something new on a regular basis. And so that becomes your lifestyle. So, Karen, tell them what you said about Tony Robbins.
Well, I thought Tony Robbins said that you can start a new habit just, immediately. Change your state, change your habits. So, yeah, I don't think there's any hard and fast scientific evidence on changing habits. It's probably more of a behavioral science study of this is when people start doing these things, they tend to stop doing other habits 21 days later because the question is if you if you if it takes 21 days or 28 days to gain a habit, then wouldn't it also take 21 days or 28 days to end a habit? Wouldn't that be the same process of changing your physical state and your mental state, or your mental state to go along with your physical state?
Right, like phasing it out. And
Yeah.
that's the way a lot of people do it. Like right now, I'm phasing out my caffeine. And so I'm drinking 1 cup of decaf coffee in the morning and 1 cup of decaf coffee in the evening. But like yesterday, I went downtown and I was hanging with my son and he was fixing some stuff on my phone and they had coffee there. And I drank a regular coffee with half and half in it. So I'm obviously not like weaning very successfully yesterday. But yeah, a lot of people will phase things out. And like you're saying, if Tony Robbins is like, hey, you change your state, you change your habits, you can just be like, okay, I'm done drinking coffee. But that could be a little tough because you could have, headaches and withdrawal and, the blues. Mike Collins talks about how you get a little bluesy and, down and how that can take even a couple of months to get rid of after you're pulling off the caffeine.
Well, here's my iced tea.
Oh, wow. Look at how diluted that
As you
is.
can see, it's not much of an iced tea.
Oh, wow, Karen.
This is not the first iced tea. This is my third iced tea.
I was going to say, how many times was that rediluted?
Yeah, so that is sort of the habit that I'm changing because that was at Mrs. V's, Daisy brought me 3 cups of iced tea. So I know that the limit was 3, right? And then I asked her to bring a couple of glasses of water, and that was my to-go cup. So I just really diluted the last one. And part of that, because it's funny because I used to only drink water. That was the only liquid I ever drank. And that was probably about 10 years ago. I don't know if that was on Atkins or something similar to paleo, maybe.
Wow. You weren't drinking Diet Coke?
No, not at all.
Wow.
But speaking of habits, so like to me, this is one of the best habits to break on a carnivore diet and one to actually consider or keto diet. And that's like when you go to the movie, right? What's the habit that you have? For me, it was always with Tim, and it was buy a big tub of popcorn, a drink or two, because he didn't like diet. So he would get a regular Coke and I would get a Diet Coke, and then sometimes maybe a candy, right? And to change that habit, maybe you change it overnight and you just don't do anything. But when you walk into the movie theater, that smell of the popcorn is just overwhelming, right? It's like going to a bakery and smelling that, that effect that we're used to. And so it might require some, because I have been to the movie a few times and it does require considerable concentration when I get out of the car and say, okay, when you walk in, if you smell that popcorn, don't think about getting it or think about it and say, you're not going to go buy it. Not to mention, I mean, what do you save? 25 bucks or something, and that's for one person. It's crazy.
It's crazy nowadays.
So,
And so what I was going to say about that was I tend to go full. I tend to try to plan my movies like around after lunch or
yes,
after I've eaten dinner so that I go there full. And then that helps me a lot with that
yeah,
issue.
as though it matters. It doesn't matter to the addict, right? but
Right.
but it does help, right? Because then there's less reason to think about it, right? You don't at least have a that stimulation going on.
So here's the question about a popcorn addict. I want to know if anyone out there goes to the theater to just go in and buy the popcorn and then leave. I don't even know if they'll let you do that, but
I think they will.
have you ever done that, Karen?
No, I don't like theater popcorn that much. It doesn't taste like it used to back in the 70s and 80s, ever since the seed oils took effect and they didn't use butter and whatever. But, it's still a thing that I did up until a year ago, or at least 2 years ago, 2023,
Mhm.
and not all the time. So that's what I'm saying is I kind of stopped the habit at one point when Tim was alive. I did it all the time because it's very hard to sit next to somebody who's munching popcorn and drinking a soda and not join in.
Yeah, yeah, I've done that.
So, although the funny thing about our habit is I would only eat the popcorn until the movie started because I can't hear the movie over the chewing of the popcorn. So Tim would eat it afterward.
My sister Carrie and her husband Jim, they get milk duds and they throw milk duds into the popcorn. And so then as you're eating the popcorn during the movie, you don't know if you're going to get like a milk dud with the popcorn and it's all delicious and
Well,
poisonous and all that.
I think that was Tim's favorite candy at the movie theater too, but too expensive, not worth the carbs, it's not worth the sugar.
The slow death sentence.
Yes, exactly. It's one of the ones that you can, and you don't have to do it immediately, right? You can either start with getting rid of the candy, getting rid of the popcorn. Like Cammy said, it's sometimes if you're going to a long movie, maybe it's hard for you not to have a drink. I know a lot of people either buy water there or sneak water in, right? Those are things that you can do, or you can do your water just before you go in and just sit there and enjoy the movie.
Yeah. So we want to know about your habits. We want to know about your comments, what you think, how you're pulling, how you're getting into keto, some new habits you might be having, or even as you're getting into carnivore too. Let us know.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.